Welcome back. It is 9:17. So on the app that you are watching right now, you can stream a full lineup of Michigan-made movies for free. It's a project here at 13 on Your Side called Movies from Michigan, and this project was spearheaded by 13 on Your Side special projects producer Eric Howard. Of course, you can see that he is here to share what's on the watch list and why these local films are worth checking out. This is such a cool initiative that you've kind of spearheaded for us. These are all movies made here in the state. So can you kind of talk about what these movies are, what's on the list here? So go ahead and talk about it.
Yeah, well, thanks for having me, obviously.
Yeah.
I wanted to take a moment to say that, filmmaking in Michigan is one of the most unique states for filmmaking. We have basically every form of, climate, cityscapes,
Yeah.
nature, everything you could possibly want. And so the possibilities are endless. And I wanted to, through this series and through my own background and career in filmmaking, highlight some of those pieces that people have used this state to create such amazing content. And the primary thing with this one is I wanted to pick kind of very striking visual locations. Locations that when you look at them, you can really feel like this could only happen in Michigan. So what primarily that came through is I remember, one of the most significant and easy to recognize ones is it's a sci-fi horror shot in the USS Silversides Museum.
Okay.
So they converted it into, basically, they didn't really have to do much, but kind of used it as this like grimy spaceship sort of style, and it just fits in perfectly. And then, with the rest of them, this is it right through here. So that's just a door right inside the Silversides, museum.
Wow.
Which is just amazing. It's so cool to see this turn into some, straight out of Alien. And then like Michigan, forests and such. And, it's amazing. It's a really, really great collection of talent and really heartfelt stories that when you see them, you'll just kind of know these had to be made here. One of them is very unapologetically in Detroit as well. So you can see the housing and stuff and just be like, yeah, this is straight out of the suburbs of Detroit.
Yeah, we were taking a look at some of the video there. Yeah. I shouldn't be surprised at this because everything that's produced out of Michigan is actually very, very good. But the quality of these movies look to be fantastic. Can you speak to that? We're looking at movies that were not made in LA. They are not made in Hollywood. They're made right here in our own back door, which I think is extremely cool.
Of course. Two of those films that we saw in that trailer are student productions. They were made while students at Grand Valley State University, which is where I graduated from. Two of them are people I've crossed paths with along the way, and it's amazing to see the very first one in this series, which is called You Can Go Home Whenever You Want, toured the nation in festivals. It was a good colleague of mine, Matt Everett, who directed that, and it toured, won many awards at international festivals and such like that. And the quality it's unbelievable. It truly is. Even I think actually a third one is a student production, the animated feature or the animated short in there, Meow Zao, which is like 2.5 minutes, but so funny. I think was also made while the creator Avalon Barr was in school as well. So it's just unbelievable.
The quality is certainly breathtaking, especially when you think about, okay, we do have the tools and resources to do this in Michigan. Some of these shots are just really spectacular. They really are. The cinematography and everything, right down to the direction and the acting. It looks just incredible. So you know a lot of these folks that made these movies. Why did they want to be able to put their movies on a platform like 13 Plus?
Something like this, I want to be so clear, just really does not exist. There is really no platform for filmmakers that will let their quality short films like this be curated within a block, for about an hour or so, and then just distributed so anyone can watch them. Believe it or not, that just doesn't exist. People would think something like YouTube would be where you would go. There's really no growth there. There's Vimeo, which, there's really no growth there. A lot of the platforms that short films go to, what happens with filmmakers is you'll submit this stuff and you have to apply to have it be in sort of a pick of the week or a top of the week or a top of the month. And if it doesn't get in there, it honestly just sits there, and it will just sit there, and if other people kind of stumble across it, it's fine. But there's nothing like this where you can put it on a platform like this and just at some point throughout the day just say, hi, do you want to take a quick hour of your day to watch some great movies? Watch it. So when I was talking to professors and fellow alumni about this, they were like, I remember one of my professors said, I wish I had this when I was younger, because I couldn't even imagine what this is like. So it's truly a unique thing that we were able to do.
Yeah, absolutely. 13 Plus is a great resource, not only for for news, but also now the entertainment value, right? So when you're trying to curate these movies, did you have an idea of like what films you wanted to include, or did they all just kind of find you and you're like, yep, this works, and we're going to throw it on the app?
I think, as we refine it, hopefully there will be some kind of themes that go along through here. I think the key was I wanted to get some of them that really just were so visually striking that, if anyone's had seen this and kind of saw out of the corner of their eye, see these shots, they're like, oh yeah, I do want to sit down and I want to watch these. But as we continue on, I think there's going to be some great themes that take place. I mean, this one had, a whole bounce. I'm like, initially it was a little heavy-handed, so we had to, I reached out to Avalon Bar and grabbed Meow Zao, quick little 2 minutes elapsed, after this really, striking opener, which is this discussion of, religion and choice of life and such like that. So there's a lot of heavy-handed ones here, but they were stories that I felt were just absolutely so striking and so easy to watch and, get kind of the range of what short films can teach you. So.
Yeah. Okay. So, these movies, tell us about what we can expect. Like, how long are the movies? What should we be expecting when we dive into each one of these?
Yeah, so it's about an hour. I think it's an hour 15, I would say. There's little stand-ups that you'll see me in there, kind of previewing them and talking about some of the fun facts. And our amazing production here at 13 on Your Side, we transformed this studio into this amazing spot. Cinematic lighting.
It does look really good.
Yeah, at one point I'm like on a spaceship, which is just crazy. So our production department is amazing how they put that stuff together. And so it's truly a fun experience. It's kind of like, I kind of wanted to extend my hand and say, come along with me, check out how cool this stuff is. And it's just, it's amazing. So again, hour 15, but the nice thing with short films is I think the longest one is probably 24 minutes. The rest,
wow.
You go from 24 to 2 to 13. So you, in a span of an hour, you'll get hit with 5 different stories, and they're all so incredible.
Okay, what would you say your favorite one on this list is? Let's pull that list back up. I mean, we've got so many.
I know. Oh no. I think when I was programming these and rewatching them, because I had to rewatch them through, make sure they were all through there, I chose it for a lead. But you can go home whenever you want. Matt is a dear friend of mine, but as a piece of filmmaking, I truly think it's just astonishing. I think the opening 4 or 5 minutes or something like that will just give you goosebumps because of just the music, the visuals. In the trailer, it's one of the first shots there where you have those missing posters. And literally every actor he found just sells the most emotional performance you could ever see. I think in just a short, for me, it was the perfect representation of what a short film can do. So I can't say it's my favorite because I don't want to give any favorites, but I would say it's probably the one that it's watch it. If you're gonna at least watch any of them, get there. But I wanted to also book in. I mean, Songs from the Sky is incredible. Patrice Scott, the director, chose a really brave piece to make while he was in school, which is amazing. I'm just gonna end up saying amazing things about all of them. I'm like, they're all amazing.
But I mean, that tells us that there are filmmakers in Michigan, and it matters. This industry does matter to our state.
Yes.
Can you go into that? I mean, obviously, filmmaking is something that we all associate with the West Coast, LA, Hollywood, X, Y, and Z, or maybe down in Atlanta where they do have some studios down that way as well. Yep. But I mean, here, this is something that's pretty unique to where we're now seeing this industry start to kind of come up in our state.
Yeah, I think it's something that's so crazy because, you mentioned those kind of hotbeds of filmmaking, especially Atlanta, Atlanta being kind of the new mecca, that where studios kind of move there. And what happens in filmmaking and this process, let me know if I'm getting too in the weeds, but basically, I mean, a state will create, an incentive or a tax incentive program, and then studios will flock out of nowhere. They will just all come, they'll build these big sound stages and, basically just set up shop, and then the jobs flood here, projects flood here. And so, you can go from, 1 year, Netflix says, we're going to move, for example, they aren't doing this, but moving to Michigan. 5 years later, you'll be shooting a season of Stranger Things, in Michigan or something. And that just all of a sudden the work just pops up. So it's amazing, but we don't have that here. We don't have any type of incentive program or anything that, entices people to come here. So really the only thing you get is you get a lot of people that were born and raised here that want to come back and contribute to the scene here, and also just anyone that is willing to go out on a limb and see the amazing nature, the amazing sights that we have. Again, the ability for a city like Grand Rapids to feel bigger than it actually is,
Yeah.
you know, and this legacy. And so a lot of this is like, a lot of these films are just student filmmakers that recognize the opportunity they have and just creating amazing things. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, using the silver sides to make it into a spaceship, like,
It's pretty
who
cool.
thinks of that, right?
Yeah.
But then you watch it in this film and all you have to do is dim the lights and, you know, add some sound effects, and it totally feels like it's straight out of like Alien, you know, seriously. And so it's just, the innovation here is amazing, and that's what comes
Yeah.
out in short films, because we don't have any money that's financing any of this. So this was part of the reason too, where I'm just like, I want to get as many on here as possible, because people have got to see there is incredible talent
Yeah.
right here in Michigan.
Incredible storytelling, as you know, you've been talking about, and also I think what's cool is that some of these names that we've popped up on the screen here, some of those movies,
Yeah.
are being in the conversation of, you know, film festivals that
Yeah.
are pretty prestigious
Yep.
in a way. So it's very cool. And so we've got all of these titles on your screen there. You can watch them right now on 13 Plus. Again, that's the app that you're watching this on, or if you're watching this on a mobile device, you can download that app on your TV and watch for free. Eric, we appreciate it for you curating the
you.
movies from Michigan. Any plans to draw some more movies
Yes.
to our app?
Oh yeah,
In the
conversations
works?
are ongoing. There were some that were already happening that we couldn't fit into the first block
Okay.
and stuff. So we're well on our way.
So
that's for
more
sure.
storytelling opportunities coming. And if you are a filmmaker and you're watching this right now, can they, you know, ask to be on that? How does that work?
Of course, just email us,
Okay.
please. Like, you know, just our simple news email, just news@13 on your side. We're working, we'll work to kind of create a better system, you know, so there's an easier submission portal and
Yeah.
such. But I mean, if you have one, I mean, just reach out anyway. We have so many ways to contact us, and we'll work to get you in no time. So.
All right. Well, Movies from Michigan streaming right now on 13 Plus. Time is 9:28. We'll be back after a quick break.